Hello and welcome back. In the previous video, we explained the quotation tab inside System Settings, including hotel tariff slogan, quotation captions, children age labels, group and FIT rate behavior, mileage calculation, and hotel room type selection. In this video, we will move to the Accounting tab. To access it, from the System Settings screen, click on Accounting from the left-hand side menu. The accounting settings control several important accounting behaviors, such as closing dates, voucher numbering, profit percentage calculation, invoice posting logic, currency validation, VAT setup, and the accounts used for accounting treatment. We will start with the Closing Settings section. The first field is Profit and Loss Account. This defines the default profit and loss account used by the system during accounting processes. This account is also useful when importing opening balances. When the accountant imports opening balances, the system will automatically select the profit and loss account defined here, instead of forcing the accountant to choose it manually every time. This makes the opening balance import process faster and reduces the chance of choosing the wrong profit and loss account. Next, we have Closing Date for dates before. This prevents users from posting any financial transactions before the specified date. For example, if the closing date before is set to January 1st, 2026, users will not be able to post financial transactions before this date. Then we have Closing Date for dates after. This prevents users from posting any financial transactions after the specified date. These two options are important because they help protect closed accounting periods and prevent users from posting transactions in periods that should no longer be changed. Now we move to the General Settings section. The first option is Ability to update voucher numbers in receipts and payments. When this option is enabled, users can manually edit receipt and payment voucher numbers. If disabled, the system will control the voucher numbering automatically. Next, we have Make profit percentage equal profit divided by selling rather than profit divided by cost for incoming files. This controls how the profit percentage is calculated in the profit and loss report. If enabled, the system calculates the profit percentage as profit divided by selling. If disabled, the system calculates it as profit divided by cost. Next, we have Delete the Proforma invoice by default once it is converted to an invoice. When this option is enabled, the system automatically deletes the Proforma invoice after it is converted into a final invoice. Next is Auto-post the invoice once it is printed. When this option is enabled, the invoice will be automatically posted to the accounting module when the user prints it. This means the printing action will also trigger the accounting posting process. Next, we have Show the year after the invoice number. When enabled, the system displays the invoice year next to the invoice number. This helps users distinguish invoice numbers across different financial years. Next is Enable Voucher Validation for Allocations. When this option is enabled, the system prevents posting a receipt voucher if multiple accounts are used on the credit side within the same voucher. It also prevents posting the payment voucher if multiple accounts are used in the debit side within the same voucher. This helps keep payment allocations controlled and prevents incorrect allocation structures. Next, we have Enable Currency Validation for Foreign Accounts. When enabled, the system prevents using a currency other than the account's default currency or the local currency. For example, if an account is defined in US dollars, the system will not allow issuing an invoice for that account in euro. This helps avoid incorrect foreign currency transactions. Next is Show the issue date on invoices. When enabled, the invoice issue date will appear when previewing or printing invoices at the bottom part of the invoice. Next, we have Use Invoice Discount. When this option is enabled, the discount field becomes available in Invoices. This allows users to apply discounts directly inside the invoice when needed. Next, we have Disable the autocomplete function in the drop-down list in the invoice. This option controls the autocomplete behavior inside invoice lines. When this option is enabled, the system will deactivate the autocomplete feature in invoice line fields. This means users will need to select or enter invoice line details manually without autocomplete suggestions. Next is Unearned Revenue Account for Invoices. This account is used when posting an invoice before the actual group arrival date, meaning before the service is delivered. In this case, the system will not post the invoice value directly to the inbound revenue account on the invoice date. Instead, it will post the amount to the assigned unearned revenue account on the invoice date. Then, on the file arrival date, which represents the service delivery date, the system will move the amount from unearned revenue to inbound revenue. For example, if the invoice is issued before the group arrives, the system records it first as unearned revenue. When the group arrives and the service is delivered, the system recognizes it as actual inbound revenue. This is the correct accounting treatment because revenue should be recognized when the service is delivered, not only when the invoice is issued. This keeps accounting reports accurate and separates received or invoiced amounts from earned revenue. Finally, in the General Settings section, we have Default Exchange Rate Logic in Reports. This option defines which exchange rate logic the system will use when generating accounting reports. If default rate is selected, the system will use the default exchange rate defined in the Setup menu. This option is mostly useful for countries where the exchange rate is fixed or almost unchanged over time. However, for countries where exchange rates change frequently based on the foreign exchange market, it is better to use historical rate. When historical rate is selected, the system will show transaction values based on the exchange rate used at the time the transaction was posted in foreign currency. This gives a more accurate view of foreign currency transactions and helps users understand the real value of the transaction at the posting date. To better understand the difference between default rate and historical rate, you can check the foreign currency accounts and statement of account video on our YouTube channel. Now we move to the VAT module section. The first option is Enable the VAT module. When this option is enabled, VAT handling becomes active across reservations and invoices. Next, we have Display the total amount inclusive of VAT on the invoice. This controls whether invoice totals are displayed as inclusive or exclusive of VAT. Next is Default VAT percentage for supplier's cost. This defines the default VAT percentage applied to supplier costs. Then we have Default VAT percentage for clients selling. This defines the default VAT percentage applied to client invoices. Next, we have VAT caption. This defines the VAT label that appears at the top of the invoice. For example, the company may use VAT, sales tax, or any other required tax caption depending on the country setup. Next is VAT number. This defines the VAT registration number displayed next to the VAT caption on invoices. Then we have Supplier's VAT account. This defines the accounting account used for supplier VAT transactions. And finally, Client's VAT account defines the accounting account used for client VAT transactions. These VAT accounts allow the system to post VAT values correctly in accounting when supplier costs or client invoices are posted. After updating any of these settings, click Save to apply the changes. This completes the explanation of the Accounting tab in System Settings. In the next video, we will continue with the next Settings tab. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.